What's up, everyone? Nice to have you here. Nice to have you here. Wow. I'm cooking, yo. It's so warm in here. That's what I mean. Holy moly. The south of France is delivering. I definitely look a lot more red on the webcam than I am in real life, though. Gotta say. But jeez, it's warm. It's warm. This live stream is gonna be like a workout, yo. Window open, but yeah, you know, good weather. Gotta enjoy it as well. So we good. What's up, everyone? Nice to have you here. So in today's live stream, nothing changed on Bitcoin. We're gonna focus on altcoins. As last weekend, I was in Zandvoort for the Grand Prix Formula One. And therefore on Sunday I couldn't do an altcoin stream. So I promised I would do it during this week, and today is the day. Now, if you haven't done it yet, make sure to vote using the link above. You have one vote, or actually it's multiple choice, but you can only click vote once. So make sure you check all the alts, and there is a couple of stocks in there that you like to see, and then we just try to do as many as we can, right? So that's how it goes. I'll be online for, you know, usually it's about an hour. We can do quite a lot in an hour, actually, because we do altcoin streams every week, and on the higher time frames, generally not too much is changing all at once. So we can generally go quite quickly. Now, with regards to the next altcoin stream, this Sunday, I'm in Monza for the Grand Prix. So I literally in my life never visited a Grand Prix. I always watched online for many years. But I always just watched at home, you know. Never watched Formula One in real life. And then last week was the first time. And now I got invited for Monza. So now I'm going to Monza as well. So twice in 1 week, pretty much. And before, in my 31 years of living on this globe, I've never went to any Grand Prix. So that's quite interesting. But that means that on Sunday, we can't do an altcoin stream. So also the next altcoin stream will be during the week next week. And I'll make sure to inform you about when that one is going to be. FYI. So good to have you here. Leva, welcome. Is your cat Simba also watching, or he chilling somewhere? Carl, welcome. Odin, Aha FX, what's up? Good to have you here. Welcome, Mr. Friends. Don't often see you popping in, or at least writing. Good to have you here, man. Legend in the community. Alan Clark, welcome. Mido Seriga, what's up? Desek, how you doing? Kevin, get yourself an overhead fan. Yeah, some sort of a fan, or just buy an aircon for the office. We have several aircons in the house. It's just that in my office, which is my favorite room here, like in the house, I don't. So you know, I gotta live with it. But there's options. We are now at the end of summer, of course. I mean, it's the end of August. Probably in September, temperatures slowly go down, you know, 25, 20 degrees by the end of September. And then we'll see where October is gonna bring us. Probably still around 20-ish. Maybe drops to like 15. And then by mid-winter, 5, 10. But yeah, it's at least a lot better than the Netherlands, mainly because there's less rain involved, which is very nice. So, Henrik, how you doing, man? Welcome. Good to have you here. Thanks for your message as well. Hope you're doing good. Make sure to work on your plan and your psychology, right? Make sure to work on your plan and your psychology, of course, based on the messages you send me and the emails. Before you continue trading, I recommend, okay? You don't want to lose any money because of emotional involvement, and of course, eventually then reckless trading. So before you really look into earning money through trading, first have the patience to develop that plan, right? So follow the 6 steps that I mentioned in Discord, which most people here know, which includes also step 5, working on your trading psychology. So do that first, right? As a trader, FOMO or missing out shouldn't even be part really of your vocabulary, because as a trader, it doesn't matter if price is at 40K, 60K or 100K, because as a trader, you're looking for right? It depends. Scalper, very low time frame, in, out, right? It doesn't matter where you are as a scalper. You can literally trade anywhere. Same as a day trader. As a swing trader, of course, you're looking at like bigger moves, but even as a swinger, you can trade everywhere. So first work on a plan and the strat, and then later start trading, right? It's a later stage. Once you have proven yourself, only spot trading for now. I mean, that's a start, but make sure that trading, the time you spend trading is low compared to the time you spent studying, making a plan, and working on your psychology. That should be the focus, right? Not earning money through trading. It's building the plan. That's the focus. And then the money comes after. Once you have a plan and your psychology is fixed, right? Then the money comes in more than you can ever imagine, right? Because then it's just following the plan. But you got to get to that point. Simba, always watching together. Okay, nice. Hi, Simba. Good to have you here as well. Tails, welcome. Injured Leah Gaming. What's up? Hunter, how you doing, man? Thanks for all your comments all the time. Always good to see. Adam, what's up? Any update for getting CVD template? Yes, I found a way to create an automated system for people to get the CVD template. Once they then just pay, if they want to pay, they can just pay for it, and then everything will happen automatically and gives them access, like the correct role in Discord. I just have to set it up. So ChatGPT is helping me with that, with all the steps. So yeah, working on it. I finally found a solution to automate it. I didn't want to increase the administration that I have, or Jeroen, my employee, has. So we wanted to automate it, and we had to figure out a system to do it, but we found an option. Still have it as my ringtone. You mean the opening song? Jeez, big fan. Rudy, welcome. I started reading the book. Progress. That's what I like to hear. Okay, so make sure to vote, right? Make sure to vote. Final couple of votes can be made. Let me refresh what's currently going on here. So we have Sol, Link, RNDR, ETH, NEAR, and then we have a couple of stock stuff here: Tesla, SPX, NVIDIA, Nasdaq, Matic, Fed, Ondo, Doge. Okay, well, definitely interesting. These ones, Sol and Link, appear quite often, so nothing too new there, I can imagine. RNDR, I actually got to check. I'm not sure when the last time is that we did RNDR. ETH, nothing too new on ETH, but we'll have a look there. There's a couple of scenarios on ETH. And NEAR, I actually think we did NEAR last time as well. And then, of course, a couple of stocks. They won't take a lot of time, I think, as they are still quite close to all-time high, if I'm not mistaken. But I would need to check. And then Matic, yeah, we're just gonna go from up to down and do as many as we can. The 6 steps. Yeah. Okay, let's get started now on Bitcoin. Right, nothing changed compared to what I said this morning in the update. It's actually nice to see that we got a bit of a move to the upside. Of course, the bullish CVD divergences on a 5-minute time frame supporting this move to the upside move to the upside. I've been supporting that move towards the upside consistently on a 5-minute as well as a 15-minute time frame, consistent bullish CVDs. So that's good to see. And yeah, very, very interesting developments. Now, if we continue up, this is your arguably first area of resistance, the order block at about 62K, right? 61.7, 62K order block there. And then also in confluence with the daily naked point of control, 61.7. And if you do pass that, then, well, you know, we have a bit of a resistance up here between 63.6 and 64.2. Which then is the next area of resistance. Now we do have, let's see, I think a value area low to keep in mind. What was it? Somewhere here. Oh, there we go. 63K, 63.1. But yeah, it's not a main area. Point of control is more interesting. But well, let's see what we get now. So the probabilities haven't changed, mentioned in the morning update. Nice to see a move to the upside. And take it step by step. Step by step. Okay, I'll do this. Okay. What is this about? That's my channel. This is the new. And then, okay, I'll move this. Do that. Cool. Refresh. Wait for it. Yeah, well, if 61.7 is hit, it is true that a wave 4 is invalidated. However, this is important, and that's... Well, I didn't mention it in detail in the morning update, but because this low took this low, even if you hit 61.4 here, yes, we only know that this move up is not part of a wave 4 anymore. However, we cannot disregard the fact that this might be your 4 and this is your 5. So in other words, before price took this low, if we would have moved to 61.7, as this is what I explained, right? This is what I explained yesterday. If you move up to 61.7 before taking the low, the probabilities are higher. This is a 3-waver. Increases probabilities to take the high. But now that price took this low first, there is the potential to count this as an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which means that if you move up to 61.7, the only thing you know is, okay, we're not in a wave 4 anymore. But there's probabilities that you're then looking for an A, B, C, for example, right? So the 61.7 level has reduced its relevancy for the bulls because price took the low, right? So that is important. Okay, let's start. So what do we got? Solana. Where is SSS? There we go. TradeFi as altcoins. You tell me, there's even stocks in there, but I just add and, you know, whatever people want to vote. I don't really know how to give the live stream a good title because we also, of course, have stocks in the list. And sometimes we do analyze stocks as well, and then a supposed altcoin stream. It's just that, hey, if most people vote for stocks, then, you know, the community votes. It's a community effort, and I just execute. You know, I listen to all of you as well as I can, at least. So, okay, let's start on Solana. 1 second. I'm actually. Yeah, give me 1 second here. So, because of the because of the very bright sun coming in, I saw some annoying little dust particles on the screen. You know what I'm talking about, undoubtedly. So I just removed them with my finger in this case. Okay, there we go. So time is 18. I gotta write this down for the timestamps. Sol 18. There we go. So Solana is actually a very clear Elliott wave count for both the bulls and the bears, really. So let's first look at the confluences. We hit this box. This is your arguably main area of support, 78 to 126. Point of control at 100 is a nice area of support, and below that you pretty much have 56, and that's that. Now for the bulls, you're looking for an impulse, meaning 4-5 price action at the moment, right? So you then have your wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By all means, you at least look for one more high to the upside, right? So you want to see this high taken of your wave 3, likely to also take the all-time high on Solana. If you do, reason for that is also that if you take a fib from the high to the low here on the chart, the 886 is hit, right? And we all know what happens after an 886 is hit. Probabilities are higher to take out the high. Now, it is quite common for price to actually move to the golden pocket after an 886 touch. So that is the reason why I have it as a template, and the Fibonacci template, the 886 and the golden pocket. And you can see that it is also in confluence with the 382, right, around 80 to 70, still inside the box for a wave 4. So it's interesting. Good to keep in mind. Good to keep in mind. But yeah, at the moment, as it stands, we have a sideways range, cool. But the bulls are still having higher probabilities here. It doesn't really make sense to say, oh, the probabilities are higher for a bear market, and down we go to back to 20. We are currently still ranging at 145. This move to the upside is definitely an extended structure towards the upside, easily counted as a 1-2-1-2 at the beginning, right? And then possibly 3-4-4 or 3-4-5-4-5, one more high, or possibly two more highs to go. But by all means, you look for the high to be taken. This is your area of support. We only touched the the top of the area of support, the 236, 116. But look at this, you can go down to 60 and still be like, oh look, you know, we're still in wave 4 price action. Your invalidation is 45. So yes, of course, it's quite a big target area. And inside this area, you want to look for additional areas of support, which is what I always do, right? Point of control at 100. We have the white box, which is simply the previous range here. And then around the 05, around 60, we have another blue box, as you can see, right? So those are some areas of confluence that I have towards the downside. It's interesting. But at the moment, you are just having a sideways range after an impulse to the upside. Arguably, highest probabilities to look for a 4 and still another 5 towards the upside. Of course, in the bearish scenario, this is an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in a C, finished. And after an A, B, C, you look for a much deeper move towards the downside, where you do want to hit 45. Now, the reason this, however, has a lower probability is because, which one is higher actually here? 26.7, and this is 27, yeah. So the reason the probabilities are lower is, look at the extension of C. It went far beyond the 1.618 trend-based fib extension, right? And that is more common for a wave 3 compared to a wave C, right? The 1.618, yeah, is still a target for C. That's something we keep in mind. But passing the 1.618, it really increases probabilities for a wave 3, right? Not a wave C. So because of the extension here, the probabilities, and that's all we can do, the probabilities are higher for a wave 3 compared to a C. That therefore increases probabilities. This is wave 4 price action for another 5 minimum to take all-time high compared to a wave C, and we look for very big moves towards the downside. Now, based on the current information, these are the probabilities. Right? It's as simple as that, really. Now, if we zoom in to the daily time frame, I don't actually think I really got a count here on the daily, but on a daily time frame, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 potential W zigzag X zigzag ABC flat W X Y finished, and another move to the downside over here, and then a finish, preferably A, B, and then a wave C, of course. Right, that is your most bullish scenario. That you made that low and you're pretty much done. Now your bearish scenario is counting this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and you still get a 3 to the downside. So also here, your scenarios locally are very easy, right? Very, very clear. So let me put this on the chart so that you actually know what the scenarios are. And yeah, I mean, it's all about solid risk management. Know your setups, know your trades. We just missed out here actually on the common target area for a wave C, which is the 1 to the 1.236 target area, which of course is interesting. So let me at least put this here on the chart, and then we have the ABC, and then of course B is then labeled as an internal WXY. So we then have our zigzag, and a flat WXY. Put that in there. So of course, bullish scenario would be voila, see, done. Of course, you got to zoom into the lower time frames, but that's your bullish scenario. Your bearish scenario, my chart is a little bit laggy, so I might actually refresh it soon, increase the speed again. Sometimes you just gotta refresh it. It's not as fast as I would like it to be. Let me quickly do that, by the way. Let me quickly refresh here. There we go. Do you miss the view from the last place? You mean in Gouda? No. No, I don't. No, I mean, it's also different. It's different, right? Here I can see the mountains and you can see the ocean, and it's just a different environment. The Netherlands is flat. Yeah, you have trees. Whoa, what happened? Okay. But no, I don't miss Gouda, where I used to live back in the day. almost a month ago now. We got close to the 886, but we didn't touch it. Golden pocket is touched here for your wave 2. Boom, boom, boom. Off, create this area, make this one brown. Okay, there we go. And then this is your bearish area of interest. Up. Very nice. Ta-da. Okay. Now, is there a scenario to take the low and still be bullish? In that case, I would need to go to lower time frames, which generally is not really something I like to do on the alts. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Yeah, there's potential for an impulse here for the NSC. This move to the upside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can this be an impulsive structure? A, B, 1, 2, 3, C. You can't usually do this, but I'm checking it. Okay, well, we got very close to taking the high. Yeah, okay. I don't wanna spend too much time doing low time frame stuff on alts. That's not what we are doing here. So, okay. So weekly time frame bullish. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looking at least for one more high minimum. Bearish scenario, ABC finish. Down you go. Lower probabilities for the bears because of the extension of your wave C passing the 1.618. Simple as that. Now locally, your most bullish scenarios are finished ABC. In that case, on the 4-hour and 1-hour time frame, what you want to count yourself is then a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. No overlap between 1 and 4 allowed. A diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 correction continuation, or a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, and up you go. Right? That is the scenarios to keep in mind. Price never moves up in a straight line and down in a straight line. It's always with waves. So wait for some proof of support, flipping levels, resistance back into support, for example, give you more confidence. It's no problem to enter later. You don't have to catch highs and lows to be incredibly profitable and make some big bucks with trading. Your bearish scenario would be a double 1, 2, right? And of course, the moment you hit 184, the probabilities significantly decline. Invalidation 194. In this case, of course, you're looking for a very strong impulsive continuation to the downside after a double 1, 2. So on the CVD, you preferably see some nice bearish CVDs building. I think I may have CVD on Solana, but I don't think I actually have it in my... No, I don't really have it in my settings here. So you can download the CVD in Discord. Now let me check if this is a 1 and that is your 2. Your wave 2 is 2 times longer than 1, which is perfectly fine. So there's nothing wrong with the wave 2. 1, 2, 1, 2. That is your bearish potential count. Right, very clear. On the daily time frame, we have a very clear bullish count. Keep an eye on the local time frames. And yeah, if price does take the low at 109, the more reason to be very, very patient. All right, so yes, we have some confluence areas below, point of control, for example, at 100. But if price does take this low, be aware of potential double 1, 2 and a bigger 3, meaning that if we do take the low, we want to see price range or down and range, and then look for signs of strength after, right? Again, I'm not in this industry as a trader myself, talking to myself, no financial advice, but I don't care about sniping highs and sniping lows, right? I don't care about my P&L pictures. I don't share them anyway, because it's completely useless. No one gets better, you know. So by sharing that sort of stuff, what you want to do is trade the middle of the move, right? Unless you have a very clear plan to catch highs and lows, which I don't because it's not my type of trading. So yeah, so those are the probabilities. On the weekly, probabilities higher for wave 4 or 5 price action because of the extension, lower probabilities for a wave C, way it is. And locally, we have a good idea of at least a bullish and a bearish scenario. And based on the new local structures, lower time frames, you can take it from there. Link. LLL. Like him being close to the beach and the mountains. I really like the mountains. The mountains is something that I've always enjoyed. I love running in the mountains, walking in the. I love nature. And the problem with the Netherlands is, yes, there's a lot of flat land and you know, like, yeah, we have a beach, but I miss the mountains. I miss the hiking. I miss the view. You know, and it's raining a lot of the time as well. So definitely not. The Netherlands is flat in non-Elliott wave terms. Is that wave 1 in Seoul bearish considered truncated? No, you can just move the 1 to the left if you want to. I haven't counted that 1 in detail, but it doesn't matter because it's too long ago. So you just count 1, 2, 1, 2. And the 1 is somewhere there, but it doesn't matter which one it is because in the end, it's not about the 1. It's about the 3 versus the C. That is the most important difference. And what you like to focus on that particular chart. So on link from a, wait, gotta write this down, 32. So on link, no, like when we look at the non-Elliott wave analysis stuff, more classic, I suppose, everything has been nicely respected. We got the move to the downside, except for this value area higher. Let me remove this value area low. So we moved to the downside. We hit the box, right? Very, very nice. Quite simple, a support resistance flip. You definitely want to hold it. You know, if you get back inside this range, that wouldn't be too great. However, to the upside, you want to move back above this white box, 12.2 to 13.5, right? Looking for signs of strength. Looking for proof of support. Of course, there's probably a lot of different things that you guys look at, but very simply, when looking at support and resistance, we had a range here. We broke below the range, and now we are retesting the range, right? That is not bullish. You want to move back above the support resistance area, preferably with a nice retest and break the structure, and off you go, no? But that's at the moment not what we got. So we got a nice move to the upside. We hit the resistance area and we want to see price move above it. Now, from a bullish perspective, link is, of course, easy. It's a clear 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. And even in the final 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have a nice impulse to the upside. You take a fib from the low to the high of your wave 1. Target area for your 2 is between the 05786. We hit the golden pocket, right? The golden pocket was in confluence with the support box as well. So that is very, very nice. And we found some support on this area of interest, right? The 786 is at 667. That would be the lowest you want link to go. And the moment you hit 5.7, that's no good. That's when the probabilities increase to just take the low at 4.7. Now, the probabilities are higher for this to be an impulsive structure because, a wave 1 or a wave A. Probabilities are higher. This is a wave 1 or a wave A, which increases probabilities for either a 1, 2, 3 or A, B, C. Reason is that if we want to label this a wave C, which would be bearish, right? 5-wave impulsive structure labeled as a C equals bearish equals taking the low one more time. Highest probability. If you want to count this move up as a wave C, you have to count this as a wave C of a flat, right? So you need A, B, this needs to be your B, and then a wave C towards the upside. But if I look at this structure as a flat and I pull the fib for an expanding flat wave B target area, you can see that price has only hit the 105. And that is a uncommon, your most common target is the blue area, which we didn't hit. The 105 is uncommon / rare for a flat. It's very shallow for a flat wave B, right? The 1.618 you don't want to hit. We didn't hit it. But we did hit the 105, which for an expanding flat is not a common target. However, this C up is definitely something that fits an expanding flat. The reason I talk about expanding so clearly is because the 105 is a common target for a regular flat, right? The 09 to the 105 target area is a regular flat target area. But for a wave C, so what we are looking for then is you have some sort of an A in here, B, and then a C, right? In a regular flat, your target for C is the 1 to the 1.236 most commonly. I mean, we just pumped way above this target area for your regular flat, right? This C is extended, and this is very long for a regular flat. So preferably you then think about an expanding flat, right? And then we do this, wave C of an expanding flat, where your common target is the 1.618, and the 2.618 is less common for a wave C of an expanding flat. So in other words, for a regular flat, we hit the common target area, but we moved way beyond the common target area for C, extending way beyond that target. And in an expanding flat, B hit a uncommon / rare target, being the 105, and C also extended to an uncommon target for a wave C, being the 2.618. So therefore, it's not easy to be like, oh yeah, highest probabilities for a wave C towards the upside. Now, the only thing that I can think of that would support a wave C to the upside is that this range here in a bullish scenario has to be counted as a corrective structure where eventually we end a downtrend here. Now, what do I mean? Because that's not a great English sentence. If this is a wave 1 or A, we need to end the bear market here at this low. And what is not easy to end a bear market here is that we have ranged for so long before dipping down and then reversing very quickly, which is something you like to see in a flat. So now we're talking about structure. We forget about the measurements, right? We forget about, oh, this is common, this is uncommon, this is rare for a wave B and a wave C and all that stuff. Now we just look at structure. We don't necessarily need all of the Fibonacci's, but they give a better indication, right? It's a guidance. But when we purely look at the structure, we have a very long sideways range. We dip below, grab liquidity, move up impulsively. If we want to end the bear market here, we need to somehow count this as a three-wave structure, right? A, B, C, right? 5, 3, and then 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, or whatever. A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In other words, this structure here is likely to be some sort of a wave 4, and then you need a 5 towards the downside. Let me check here. If this is A, you can even have a diagonal in here on the lower time frames for wave A. A, B, and then some sort of a wave C ending over there, where this is then a wave 4. W, X, and if we then look for a Y, then Y has to be an ABC by itself, meaning A, B, C, but your C would be very, very short compared to your A, so that doesn't make any sense. So an ABC would pretty much be like the way to go. If you want to end the bear market here, you actually want to count this as an A, B, and then C, and then done, right? Now that means the final leg to the downside is preferably a 5-wave structure, not a 3-wave structure. W, X, Y, X, Z. Always interesting possibilities. It's just that probabilities are always so low for W, X, Y, X, Z. No? But then this move down has to be counted as a 5-wave structure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 is shortest. That's not great. If we look for this to be a wave Z, by the way, then this has to be either a, wait 1 second here, A, B, did we hit the 0.9? Because, oh, you're looking at a triple zigzag, no? Yeah, you must be looking at a triple zigzag WXY. So that means this has to be a zigzag, which then means 5, 3, 5, 5, 3, 5. This range is messing it up. 1, 2, 1 is longer than 3. 3 is the shortest. That's not allowed here if we count this 5 and this 1. So unless we finish 1, 2, but then we have 3, very 3 wavy ending, triple zigzag. Yeah, triple zigzag WXYXZ. But then you would count this as a triple zigzag or the move on the weekly down. So it's the, I explained this last time on Link as well, is the final leg down is not a nice impulse. It's not a great impulsive structure. This as a triple zigzag, triple zigzags, they are very rare, never preferred unless everything else fills. So it's not really something I enjoy too much. Of course, a triple zigzag would be nice if it channels well, but this is not. It's not a great. WXYXZ. It's so rare. So rare. I prefer to stay away from the WXYXZs though. But by all means, there's a lot going on here, and this from this high, right? Yeah, we can count some sort of a 3-waver, but we can't underestimate the fact that we might have a WX and then some sort of a Y triangle shebangs, like random stuff going on in here, because it is such a long sideways range. High probability you got a complex structure going on in this area, WXY or even a WXYXZ, which can also end over here, and then you have one leg down for your 5, right? So Sol has already been done. Make sure to check 18 minutes. What's up, Stuba, by the way? What's up, Cheese? So yeah, I mean on Link, if this is a finished move in a wave C and you look for price to move towards the downside, you of course want to count impulsive structures to the downside, which means 5-wave impulsive moves. But this structure to the downside so far here is of course very 3-wavy, right? It's a very, very 3-wavy structure. We don't have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave move. Where's 4? Where's 5? Right? 4 is too high. So it looks better as a zigzag, and a zigzag, double zigzag potential. In other words, looking for a corrective move here, this, right? It looks better as a correction compared to an impulsive structure. And the fact that also on the daily here, this looks better as a corrective structure compared to it being an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it does increase the probabilities to still look for price to take out the high at 22. So yeah, we can focus on that little spike down here, but after such a complex range, it's difficult to know where the range exactly ended. Focusing on this area here, now we know this wave C is very extended. We know wave B for a flat, right? ABC. B is very shallow. C is very extended. It looks better as a wave 1 or a wave A. This structure down has a higher probability of being a corrective structure, right? How can we count this move as a 5-wave impulse? You tell me. There's no wave 5 here unless there's a truncation, but a truncation is incredibly rare, never preferred unless everything else fills. And everything else will fill if you actually take the low. So with solid risk management, it's actually very easy to trade Link, in my opinion, especially for the swings. So, no. Yeah, just it looks better as a corrective structure. A zigzag to the upside here. C is very extended. In that case, you'll probably look for A, B, and then C, which indeed means, again, a wave C that is incredibly extended. Yeah. So, but then again, in like from a probabilities perspective, yeah, you went far beyond the 1.618. So the problem, of course, there is that can something like this be a wave C? Sure, but probability-wise, which is of course something that we trade, having this as a wave C of a zigzag compared to counting it as an impulse, impulse has higher probabilities due to the extension. Oh, Okay, you're talking about Solana. Lol. Yeah, I'm of course on the Chainlink chart, so I didn't know. But even on Sol, like, yeah, of course it can be a C, but you're not gonna like short in the midst of a big bull market when C is extended. So from an Elliott wave point of view, I fully agree the ABC is the bearish scenario, but it can't yet have the highest probability unless locally you start to see strong signs of weakness, which starts by minimum taking the low, seeing a volume increase and looking for a wave 3. But wave C is so extended that the probabilities are higher to count it on Solana as an impulse. And the same is arguably true on Link. Even, we can copy the messages on Link. If we want to count this as an ABC, C is very extended. If we count it as a flat ABC, B very shallow, C very extended. Not great for the measurements. This move down looks better as a corrective structure, not an impulsive structure, due to the three-wavy nature of the moves towards the downside. Increasing probabilities, this is corrective, not impulsive, to still take the high on Link. A leading guy, if we were looking for it, but a leading expanding diagonal, we all know already what the probabilities are going to be. Is it a scenario? Yes. What's the probabilities compared to this being corrective? Very low, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as an expanding diagonal, right? Very low probabilities unless all the other stuff fails, which pretty much means taking the low. So an expanding diagonal is never going to win probabilities against this being any other sort of corrective structure unless all the other scenarios become invalidated. So for a bare minimum to make this expanding 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you need to take the low one more time. With a three-wave structure, of course, the move up by itself has to be a three-wave structure. And then a three-wave down. Then at least it opens the door, but then you also need a corrective move up and not an impulsive move towards the upside. Because, of course, if you do take the low, and we count this as a double zigzag, WXY, taking the low again becomes a triple zigzag. So now you're going to compete an expanding diagonal against a triple zigzag. Now that's going to be an interesting one. But at the moment, probability is higher. It's corrective. We can't give highest probabilities to an expanding diagonal in the move to the downside. But is the move down? But are you now talking, Stuba, about Link or Bitcoin or Solana? Yeah, of course, you always need a bearish count, and the bearish count would indeed be that this is a wave C, and you look down for impulsive structures. And in that case, because of the three-wavy nature, expanding diagonal is an option, but it's too early. Too early. All the alts, total 3, looks similar. Move down into more likely 5 or WXYXZ. In this case. So I prefer looking at more recent data. That's the most interesting. But when we do look here, A, B, C, where this is then a wave 4, and you have a final leg down in 5. That's the easiest way to count this structure, and the fact that you have a very long sideways range before then a short blip to the downside. So of course also here your C is very long, both in time and in price. That's not nice. But yeah, that's your bullish scenario. What I want to see is local weakness. So I don't care too much about all of this here in a lot of detail. I care about this here, this area. So as long as I don't see strong impulsive moves down and everything is three wavy, probabilities are always higher to move back up and take the high, unless you go into diagonals, right? But then you still need to take this low one more time. Plus, you actually want the 886 to be hit here, taken from the low to the high. If you hit the 886, that's when probabilities change to take the low. But at the moment, we can't. So, yeah. So that is link. It's basically higher probabilities. This is corrective, and that this is an impulse. Higher probabilities to take the high, compared to the bears. And we always need bear scenarios, just like I have the bearish scenario on Bitcoin. right? We are aware of the bearish scenario. We know what we're looking for the bearish scenario to increase in probabilities. It's just that it's too early to give it highest probabilities. We can't yet. Same is true on Solana, same is true on Link. We have the bearish scenarios, Solana 112, for example, to the downside. And on Link, some sort of a diagonal in that case. But your wave C on Solana, very extended, high probabilities, it's a 3. And then on Link, you have a very extended C, while you have a very shallow B for an expanding flat. Possibility, right? But probability-wise, not too great. And so far, a corrective structure to the downside. Very 3-wavy, very corrective, unless we move into, indeed, an expanding diagonal, which is rare and never preferred. So you can't give it the highest probabilities. You can trade short based on more 1 hour, 15-minute structures, right? Very easy, very easy. There's no problem here looking for shorts. But of course, looking for swing shorts, I mean, like, not for me, right? Not for, unless eventually you see significant weakness. Same on Solana. There's like, I mean, Solana would be actually easier for a swing short because the invalidation is so clear and it's quite close to price. And you know that when your invalidation is hit on Solana, which is the wave 2 invalidation, you know, okay, I'm wrong, I lose 1%, and I will switch to looking for longs and continuation to the upside and likely look for all-time highs as well. So it's very easy from a risk management point of view to trade Solana short. Link, however, is a lot more difficult because of the 3-wavy structures, plus your invalidation is all the way up here, which isn't great. So, but yeah, the probabilities aren't yet higher for the bears compared to the bulls on a weekly time frame. Of course, I generally don't really go to the lower time frames on alts. So yeah, total 3. Let me have a quick look here. I think we had a look at this last time. Yeah, total 3 looks similar to Solana, but this is the thing. Like, the scenario is the same. It's the same. It like, yeah, you can count it A, B, finish C, and then look for 1, 2, 1, 2, and down you go. However, due to the length of this wave C, probabilities are better to count it as a wave 3 unless you hit the 618 or, of course, overlap with wave 1, which hasn't happened yet. So it's difficult to give the highest probabilities to any of those bearish structures. Now, I'm happy for alts to move to the downside and forget about any bullish scenarios, but you can't. They simply do not have the highest probabilities from an Elliott wave point of view unless we start to see significant weakness on these type of alts, which on Solana means step 1 would be take the low, the local low on a daily time frame. It opens the possibility for a 112 and a wave 3 towards the downside. And on Link, it's the same. Increasing probabilities to move down would be starting, taking out the low, so that there's a potential 5-wave structure here in some sort of a diagonal, and then look for a move up. On both Link and on Solana, the 886 local is important. 886 taken from the low to the high, right? On both of these charts, you can simply take a fib from the local daily low to the high that you have on the chart, toggle on the 886. The moment you hit the 886, the probabilities increase for price to take the low, which means directional bias goes towards bearish, at least short term, to take out the lows on Sol and Link, which can be traded. Now, after an 886, quite often price moves to a golden pocket, potential short opportunity if weakness presents itself, and then look for price to take out the lows. And if you're lucky, you get continuation, but it can't be expected. Can't be expected. So yeah, very interesting discussion as well. Very interesting scenarios on these different assets. So thanks, guys, for sharing your thoughts as well. And I think it's quite clear that Stuba, John, myself, we all agree on exactly the same stuff. We all agree on, yes, it's extended, the wave C is there, okay, probabilities aren't great, but we are also all aware of the potential of bearish continuation when certain levels get hit, as mentioned, like an 886 or taking out the low. That's where things start. So it's good to be aware of it so that it's inside a trading management plan, risk management plan, trading plan. It's very, very important. So yeah, I completely agree with Stuba and John. So it's just that at the moment, from an Elliott wave point of view, those coins don't yet get highest probabilities for bears. Now Ethereum, however, is a different type of story, though. I never have spare time during these live streams. If you see, I don't even know where Jasmine is, but not many people voted for it clearly. Currently observing the probability of flat in NDX. Oh, I haven't done NDX yet. So wave B hit, which is uncommon. Yes, true. But then again, B hit the 1.618. Right, so preferably look for other structures than a B hitting a 1.618 in a flat. Of course, it's all probabilities. It's not a clear invalidation, right? It's not an invalidation, but probabilities would also suggest another count. And that is eventually the only thing that we can trade, of course, is the probabilities. So anyway, on ETH is very difficult for the bulls. So on Ethereum, there is arguably two bullish counts. I actually have one on my chart. Wait, I have two here. Which 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, so I have a double 1, 2 here, and I have a single 1, 2. In both cases, the invalidation is the low at 1520. Now, the problem of counting this by itself as a wave 1 is this range in the middle. It looks very ugly. Higher probabilities. This is a 3-wave structure, right? Instead of a wave 1. So the probabilities aren't great to count this as a 1, 2. And aren't great as well to count this as a 1, 2, and then a double 1, 2. Now, the only way to fix this problem is to count this as a wave 1, this as a wave 4, and this is then your 5. So in other words, this is 3, this is 4, this is 1, this is 2, right? And then the price action, wait, let me actually do this a little bit nicer. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means that in this area, we need to count a 5-wave impulsive structure. Now this, of course, by all means then has to be a lower degree wave 4, this, right? Which then leaves us with this has to be a wave 2, this here. So in that case, we then need a 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sideways 4, 5. Which means you have a very short wave 2, very long wave 4. Let me put a fib time to this. If we do this and then do this, yeah, it's like wave 4 is easily like 10, 15 times longer than your small wave 2 here. So that is not too great. Now to use more professional tools instead of my my drawings, you then need 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and then ta. Right? Because a wave 4 is not allowed to overlap with a wave 1, so we can't end a wave 1 here. We can only end a wave 1 somewhere here. And then inside this wave 3, we then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the only way to count this as an impulse. No other option. And then we take a fib from the low to the high of 5. Common target for your wave 2 is the 0.5 to the 0.786. We only hit the 382 at the moment. It is a target for a wave 2. It's, however, an uncommon target for a wave 2. Target nonetheless. 05 to 786, 1900 to 1200 is your common target for a wave 2. Right? Because now what we're then looking for is this to be then your wave 1, 2, and then eventually continuation up. Right? Bum. So, but then in this case, preferably you still drop. Yeah. In this case, preferably, you still drop. The higher 4 did not touch the low degree 4 on this bullish count. That's not a requirement, right? It's not a requirement. A wave 4 of a higher degree, right, can retrace to a wave 4 of a lower degree, but it's a guideline. It's not a rule. It's not a requirement that a wave 4 retraces to the wave 4 of a lower degree. So it's no problem if it doesn't overlap, right? So yeah, this is your only bullish scenario from the low to the upside, right? So yeah, there's only 3 rules in Elliott waves. Let me explain them. These are the only 3 rules. All the other stuff are either guidelines or, of course, experience from Elliott Wave International or other analysts. First rule, or it all has, and the rules only have to do with an impulse. First of all, wave 2 is not allowed to take the low of 1 in a bullish impulse. Right? So wave 2 is not allowed to take the origin of wave 1. Wave 3 is never allowed to be the shortest wave between 1, 3, and 5. And in an impulse, wave 1 and 4 are not allowed to overlap. Those are the only rules in Elliott waves. Now, a misunderstanding at times is that the rule of alternation is an official rule and a must, but that is incorrect. And also, if you would read the book, right, it is not a set rule. Wave 2 deep, wave 4 must be sideways. Wave 2 is a sideways correction, wave 4 must be deep, right? That is incorrect. It's more like a guideline of alternation, actually. And based on statistics, if wave 2 is sideways, wave 4 has a 78% chance to also be sideways. Interesting, right? Anyway, so with ETH, right, bullish counts, this one here, difficult, counting this as a wave 1 with the range in the middle, pain in the ass. Same here, second wave 1, range in the middle, not great. So your best impulsive count would be this, and then you look for a 2, but preferably, yeah, we hit the 382 minimum target. This is your common target area, 1900. So yeah, wave 2 can hit, wave 2 can't move below or above the origin of wave 1 because wave 2 of course always hits wave 1. But you're correct in I know what you mean. But yeah, wave 2 is not allowed to take the origin of wave 1. Now this then leaves us, right? This is your bullish scenario. Preferably you move into the common target. But then you have a triangle, A, B, C, D, E. Now in this case, we then have A, B, C down, W, X, Y, and B. Look for a 3-wave corrective structure in C, D, E, and then continuation to the upside. So you just delay the inevitable in this case, which then is moving to the upside. And then finally a WXY, or for the most, like the biggest bears, an ABC. And for an ABC, your minimum target would be the low at 800, well, below 900. Imagine buying ETH below 900. So this is your final option: 3-wave A, 3-wave B, and then a wave C, 5-waver below 900, or a WX and then a Y. Wave Y in this case can only be a flat or a triangle, because wave W is already a zigzag and wave X retraced too high really for a double zigzag. And let me check. I actually think wave B did touch the 0.9, but I want to double check just in case. Not too sure. Or we just, yeah, we did. So at least it opens the potential for this to be an A, B, and then a flat 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure of some sort. We do have overlap here, I think. Yeah, we do have overlap if this is 1 and this is 4, but it's the way it is. Not great for a flat wave C here. But yeah. Let me check these scenarios. So we are looking for the group 1. We are looking for the triangle WXY. If we do look for the WXY though, Y can only be a flat. But in a flat, if this is A and B and then C, then you want to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we have overlap here, which means only diagonals are allowed, which means 3-wave structure, 3-wave structure, 3-wave, 3-wave, 3-wave. But the second leg down does look longer. Let's see if that is correct. That is correct, which would mean expanding diagonal, meaning that would be very rare and never preferred. Unless we create a bigger flat where this is an A, B is C. Now that in that case would be preferred. And wave A can then be A, B, can be a zigzag, A, B, and then a wave C. And then this has to be your A, 3 wave B, 5 wave C. It's a little bit early to call. Let me remove this here. Quite simply, bearish scenario, done. Well, we don't really have to think about it in a lot of detail. Oh, we had support here. Nice. Up. So for WXY, preferably you then have A, B, C. You take the high and move down. That is your Y, and for your wave C, it's a straight line. Those are your most bearish options. Doesn't yet have the highest probability. Okay, so these bullish scenarios, 1, 2 up, or a double 1, 2, not great probabilities, low probabilities because of the wave 1 and the range in the middle. So that then leaves us with this bullish scenario. I mean, it's a very awkward bullish scenario, but the only one you can then have, where this is your blue 4, this is your blue 2. Your wave 3 is very awkward, and your wave 4 is incredibly long compared to your small little 2, which lowers the probabilities for also this scenario, increasing probabilities for the triangle or the WXY or even an ABC. So in that sense, ETH looks a lot more bearish than Bitcoin at the moment from a Elliott wave point of view, right? Probabilities on ETH are not too great for bulls at the moment. Now, if we go to the daily, what's this? Okay. Let's zoom in. This is already a very long range, so probabilities have now increased that this is a 3-wave structure, unless we can end the correction here. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, E. Could there be some sort of... Oh, no, wait. A, B, yeah, running triangle, that is still possible. But the triangle would be bullish because then you count A, B, C, and then you're finished. Probability is higher to take the high because a triangle always precedes the final move, right? So A, B, C, D, E, and C. A, B, C, okay. And then we have this is very much a 3-wave structure. If we count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 4 is very long compared to wave 2, which lowers probabilities. So on a daily time frame, yeah, wave 2 can't be a triangle as well. We can't count 1, 2, triangle, 1, 2, and down in 3. This looks very corrective, of course. Let's see, volume. So because we took the low, higher probability there's a zigzag in here. Doesn't really look like a nice flat A, B, C, unless we count A, B, C running flat, just like Bitcoin. But if this is a running flat, you want to end it here. But if you end it here, then now you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and wave 4 is over 6 times longer than wave 2, which significantly lowers probabilities that this is a wave 4 in line with this being a wave 2. In other words, probabilities now are every day, as long as you don't take the low, decreasing. It's 4 times. The high here is made 4 times. It's almost 5 times longer than 2. So 4 times is it's on the edge. It's on the edge. We can't. It's not time is never an invalidation, but you can see that this high was made at the 5, close to the 5. So still okay. Still okay on the edge. On the edge, you know, it's not ideal, but it's on the edge. So we can't really say like, oh, it's an invalidation. So what we like to see for ETH is price touching 2917. Keep that one in mind. Oh wait, we are on the log chart here. Why is that the case now? 2905. I don't know what I did different to compare to the other day, but did we touch this here? No, we didn't. You want to hit the 0.618 taken from the high to the low. Now, log chart and linear chart gives a different reading, but preferably go with the higher one, 2905. No, that's one. So 2905, hit 2905, and a wave 4 is invalidated. Increasing probabilities, this is either a 3-wave structure, or that we're looking for a triangle in here, and then A, B, C, finito, and we look for price to move towards the upside on the daily. So on a daily time frame, we want price to hit 2905. Hit 2905 and the probabilities increase for a bigger move up. On a weekly time frame, we have this bullish scenario. We hit the 382. It's a target, not common, but it's a target nonetheless, right? For a wave 2. This is your common target lower. So it's something to keep in mind, but your bearish scenarios, bigger triangle, and a WXY are on par with the bullish scenario. So I'm actually a lot more interested in the daily here. If we can take this high one more time, probabilities increase for up. Also, if you hit 2905. So that's the most important level on the chart. Is actually 2905 here. If you hit 2905 before taking out the low, probabilities increase that this is a corrective structure. Increasing probabilities for future upside. What's up, Mark? How you doing? Random name, Mohib. Welcome. Discount is lower probability. I already forgot like what we're talking about because I go so fast with altcoin analysis. So yeah, this is ETH. Look at 2905. If 2905 is hit, that is when there's interest for bullish long trades. Of course, we have an important support resistance here, so we also would preferably flip that. Yeah, we can't like 1 2 1 2. How can we end the 2 here? WXY. I mean, it looks ridiculous now. Because then you need to have flat X zigzag, but your wave Y is so incredibly short. Up. Yeah, it's very, very short for a wave Y if you WXY. Because most bearish would be 1 2 1 2 and then look for another 1 2 and move down, but it's not great probabilities. So on ETH, that means that in this scenario, a WXY would have higher probabilities than a C, but in a WXY, we would be looking for either a triangle or a flat. Flat means take the high. compared to counting this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and ta 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 ta, because of that small little range here. So unless 1, 2, 1, 2, we need price to not take this high anymore. We need price to take the low, and then we can count 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Not allowed to take the high here though. 4, 5, 4, 5, right? And then you get a significant structure down. If price hits 2905, a C to the downside goes pretty much out the window. That's what you're waiting for if you're bullish. And if a C goes out the window, hitting 2905, your bearish scenario becomes higher probability flat in Y compared to a local A, B, C, D, E triangle, which means in the end taking the high in both cases, a triangle A, B, C, D, E up, and also a flat is up. And then you have your bigger triangle, which in the end is also simply range and up. And of course you have your bullish scenario, which is 1, 2, and also up. So, I mean, the moment you hit 2905, it's going to be up, right? That's your probability switch there. So it becomes interesting to look for longs. Doesn't mean price can't go down for the triangle, for example, but your bias is going to be long-term, weekly, monthly is going to be, okay, we're going to be looking for all-time high. Now, besides this, we also have the 2886 here. So take an 886 from the all-time high to the low. We touched it. And this is interesting. Watch this, watch this. Watch this. Boop. Ta-da! Move to the golden pocket. Very, very nice. Close this weekly candle in the golden pocket. Also nice. So after an 886 touch, quite common to move to the golden pocket to observe the reaction. And as you have seen on lower time frames, it is not uncommon to see price hit the 886, move to the golden pocket, and then continue. But of course, we want to see signs of strength, which at the moment is not yet the case. Hit 2905, past this support resistance flip would be nice. It would be nice. And then we get back in this range above. And also more locally, we also hit an 886 taken from the high to the low, right? We move beyond the golden pocket, but we did hit the 886. So counting this as a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then look for 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 down, is already lower probability anyway, because we touched the 886, and the 886 is rare for 2, common for a wave B or a wave X. Increasing probabilities, that's what's happening here, is corrective, not impulsive, which increases probabilities for a wave Y, A, B, C, D, E up, flat, take the highs, then down and up, but you're still going to take the highs first, or the bullish scenario, 1, 2, and up, or a bigger triangle, A, B, C, D, E, and up, right? So it doesn't change the narrative on ETH in the long run. Very interesting. Bobby, what's up? B channel, how you doing, man? Good to see you pop in now and then. Welcome, welcome. Okay, lots of chatting. RNDR. Is this still RNDR? I think the name changed. No, I think I removed it the other day from my chart. Is RNDR still a thing or not? I think it was render now, no? I don't know. You guys gotta help me out here. Wasn't it render nowadays instead of RNDR? Apparently, I got still R. I got. They changed it. I see what you did there. 1 second here. Ooh. I'm actually not sure. I think it is render. But, yo. Oh, damn. I forgot to put the time in for ETH. Oops. ETH was definitely a bit of a longer 1 hour 20, 32. I think we started probably around 50. Is it guys, there like out of the 100 viewers, there must be someone that knows if it is RNDR or render. Can someone confirm? Because I don't trade altcoins, so I only do these streams because you guys ask for altcoin streams. But please help me out if it is render Tether USD or RNDR. Okay, it's render. I see. Okay. because I don't know. Like sometimes sometimes you have, wait, airwave, like I see you Scott. I'll add this one next time. I'll add it next time. Sometimes people come in with charts of like modder. I remember we had a moment in time where every week I got the question, can you analyze modder coin? I'm like, what the fuck, guys? What are you even trying to do here? Like these random absolute garbage coins. Oh boy. oh. Yeah, but hey, if people can earn money with it, I mean, I'm happy to analyze it, but yeah, I think I still have it, if it's alive at least. I must have it somewhere in my Matic, Mara. Oh no, I don't even have it in here. Whatever, it's not worth it anyway. It hardly any history. I think the RNDR Coinbase chart still works. This is RNDR Binance. Oh no, I mean render is render. Yeah, I mean it's just the way it is, I suppose. So let's just analyze this, add it to the watch list. June. This is the weekly time frame, so we definitely have some history. Oh, also, it's not nice. This. Let's put a count on the chart here. This is a new chart, so I don't have any history here. Okay, render. Wave 5 would be extended in this case, but for an extended wave 5, the volume is quite low. You know, you actually want the volume to be high if you extend the 5. But 3 is extended compared to 1. So 1.618 is touched. Has the highest volume. 5 is higher than 1 in the peak. So it's definitely an option. But of course, in this case, you look for a deep retracement. We just missed out on the... Some things may go a little quick. Up. Of course, this is your bullish count. Okay, impulse. So that would be 1. Where then in here you need a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This has to be a 4. Okay. Which leads us to the same bearish count as on many others. We just missed out on hitting the 382, and if I do this, then we hit it. Interesting. Ooh. Did we hit the, did we reject at the 1-to-1? Wow. Wow, we did. Interesting. Yeah, you need to use log skill here. More bullish CVD on BTC and back for any chance for Tesla and NVIDIA chart? I think that one is next. 1 second here. 1 second. Okay. Okay, you got your bearish count, you got your bullish count. Oh, it's easy peasy, and then highest probability. Okay, so we have overlap here. So if we want to count an impulse down, you don't want to see overlap unless it's a diagonal, but your wave 5 is longer than your wave 3, as well as your wave 1, by the way. So counting this as a diagonal, low probabilities or invalidated, either or. Overlap here invalidates an impulse. It's not a multi 1-2 because price moved back up. So it would increase probabilities for a corrective structure. Expanding diagonal. I mean, that's just stupid. 3 is longer than 1, 5 is longer than 3. So that would be the only, however, 4 needs to be longer than 2, which it is. So the only way to count this bearish would be to count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then an expanding diagonal, which is always low probabilities, never preferred unless everything else fails. So challenge. Then we have a very clear three-wave move up here. Of course, it's confirmed by the fact we took out the low, by the way. So it has to be a three-waver. Or it needs to be a 5-wave of a flat, but that's not the case. So looking for a 3-wave here. Interesting to see volume is going down as price moved to the downside. Changed its name, I see. I wonder why they changed their name. Only because they moved to another chain? We also already hit this low here. So if we are looking for impulsive structures down, for example, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you now have overlap between a wave 1 and a wave 4, which automatically lowers probabilities, or it invalidates an impulse, but then that means you have to look for diagonals or multi 1-2s. Now, if this is a multi 1-2, your second wave 1 is significantly longer, bigger compared to your first one, so that doesn't look good. Then you have to look for diagonals, but your 3 is longer than your 1, so it also doesn't look good. So It increases probabilities that what we are seeing here on render is a corrective structure. Of course, in confluence then with this being an expanding diagonal for the bears, not being a high probability scenario. So on a weekly, it means the probabilities are higher for the bulls compared to price moving to the low. So in other words, your probabilities are higher to take out the high compared to taking out the low first. And then take it from there, of course. Now, with regards to areas of support, a previous range is always important, right? Structural support is always important. We have hit this now. It's also a monthly order block, by the way, and it's just quite simply a monthly level. So we have now hit this. Your next monthly is all the way down here. And then you go to... we'll put it on the chart. Wait, do we also have resistance or not? Yes. I don't want to remove. We already hit that, so. Yeah, as expected. Oh, we also hit the value area high. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Moving above the value area high. Point of control is here. So we are at support, but I removed it because we already touched it, so it's irrelevant for me now. So we have resistance above us, and we have support below us, quite simply. Bullish scenario. Okay, the support down here is inside the common target area for a 2, and the 302 is generally a minimum target. So actually on render, preferably you still move down first. Oh, that's a big drop though. It's at least a 44% move, if not 70. Holy moly. It's not really fair. Yeah. Because we didn't hit the 382. So yeah, on the lower time frames, counting this as a 1 expanding diagonal, it's very rare. Counting this as a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, overlap between 1 and 4. Multi 1, 2, low probabilities because your second one is so much longer than your first. Diagonal needs to be expanding, also rare. So higher probabilities for corrective structures on render. Preferably you actually still move down inside the pocket here, or at least touch the 382, but you did hit your first area of support. So all in all, the probabilities are higher to take the high first before the low first, right? Of course, we're still very high, and La la la, easy to say, Koen. Yeah, of course. But based on the analysis, if you've been here since the beginning, you'll probably see that, you know, arguably your probabilities would be higher. But actually first like to see lower to move into the fibs, which we haven't. I don't like to count multi-1-2s here. And the bear scenario is very clear, where this range becomes a wave B. And then this is like a scenario that either leads to a very big diagonal. Of course, we don't have a lot of history, or you just go for new lows. But then you want impulsive moves down, which starts with an expanding diagonal, which isn't great. So yeah, there you go. Render near. Near hit the point of control. Let me make this white here. So that's nice. Pretty bounce. Not bad. 60+% of the support. Okay. Oh yeah. I actually wonder if people that vote near ever watched the analysis of like a week ago, because nothing changed, guys. Here, there's no new info. The problem with near is we cannot use this nicely in our analysis because of all the overlap here. It's very difficult to really count it as an impulse. So that is why in my bullish scenario, I literally have only this area labeled. In the bear scenario, I only have this area labeled. I don't focus on this move up here because of the amount of overlap as price moved to the upside. So it doesn't really make sense to count it. They're all going to zero. Yeah, I guess. I mean, I don't trade alts. So get all the money out of alts, put it in Bitcoin, guys. What are you doing here? But on near, so the reason, so first of all, probabilities are higher. This is corrective, unrelated to the move up. I don't care about the move up. The reason it's higher probabilities, it's corrective, is because of you can just see it. Three-wavy nature. This, right? This. Unless, again, we start talking about diagonals, and in that case, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, another expanding diagonal, again, lower probabilities unless everything else fails. Just repeat. Counting this as a wave 1, 2 means you need a flat in 2, A, B, C. B is incredibly long. It hit the 1.618, fib taken from the low to the high of A. Wave C is also, I think it hit the 2 fib time. 1 second here. If I remember correctly. Oh no, it's ended before the 2 fib time. Savior. But of course your wave B is very deep to count it A, B, and then a C. And even if you do want to count this as a wave 1, just go to a 4-hour time frame and try counting a 5-wave move in here. The only way to count a 5-wave move would be to count this as a 1, 2. Somehow this has to be your 3, 4, and then this somehow needs to be a 5. You know what I mean? It's a big mess. And then if this is your 1, then this needs to be your whole 2. Look how big 2 is compared to 1. It's not great probabilities. Take a fib time from the high to the low, and then you double click, and we toggle on 2, and then, yeah, wave 2 is, I don't know, like 10 times longer. Yes, near hit the 886, but only hit the 886 if you take it from the high to the low here. That is correct. So then you did hit the 886, right? Rare for 2. It didn't hit the 886 if you take it from this high to the low. So this is why when I saw this chart for the first time, I was like, okay, if we want to count this as a 1, 2, we touched the 886. So that isn't great, of course. if we count this as 1, 2, we actually didn't hit the 886. The problem is 2 is so long and B is so deep. So your only bearish scenario, your hope for the bears would be a diagonal, but at the moment probabilities are higher. This is corrective and increases probabilities to take the high. That's all you need to know. Next. Tesla. Okay, interesting. I also don't have too much time anymore because I have a meeting coming up at 5 p.m. Well, I mean, Tesla's not an alt, of course. But I did not. Okay, probably the reason I didn't edit is because I didn't really do any analysis the other day. Do I even have anything? Oh, I do. Okay, this is just local support. Oh, we hit the monthly. Oh, I can remove this. Oh, damn. I forgot. What did we just do? I'm losing. Gotta figure it out. 1. Tesla. Oh. Yeah. So you kind of see the probabilities on Tesla are higher to still look for all-time high. We have a nice move to the upside. Of course, clearly looks like an impulsive structure. Low here, couple of 1, 2s, 3, couple of 4, 5s, 2, 3, 4, 5. Preferably look for another high. Take out the all-time high. Common target area for your wave 4 is the 382 to the 05 that's left. 382 is touched. 05 at 69. Invalidation is 46. Your first structure to the downside here has definitely the potential of being counted as a B, C, with A being, there we go, an expanding diagonal. But counting this bearish, of course, is difficult because of this whole move up. Like if we want to count this as an impulse of some sort, first of all, lots of overlap here. We can't count this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because 4 went too high for the bears. We can't count it a multi 1, 2 and like 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2 and then another 3 and then 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5 because we didn't get to 4 5s. So the probabilities are higher. We're looking at a 3-wave structure. And then, of course, the move to the upside looks very 3-wavy as well, which then led me to think about the potential of a triangle here, where we then have A, B, C, D, preferably look for E, preferably another move down to get a nice 3-wave structure, and then look for price to move up. And then to the downside, over here, we have a bit of support around 177. Your invalidation is 138 and 300. That's Tesla for you. SPX. These, I don't have them here. SPX. Probability is higher to move up on SPX. That's all you need to know to take all-time high. That went quick. Reason is we touched the 886. So any move to the downside has a higher probability of being a corrective, not impulsive. Take a fib from the high to the low, 886 touched. So there we go. That's SPX for you. NVDA. And the reason I don't like to count that in more detail, by the way, is because it doesn't make sense. As long as these type of charts are moving into all-time highs, you just gotta wait for another range to form. It doesn't really make sense to count all of these structures and think like, oh, are we gonna end a very big 5 or yes or no? As long as you are in price discovery, guys, just wait for the next range. You're looking up till the next range is forming. And once you get a bigger rejection or you start building a bigger range, then you can work with something. But as long as price is pushing and probabilities are higher to move up, it doesn't make sense to analyze these type of charts. You see what I mean? Right? So that's why on, for example, what did we just do? SPX. It's useless to count that chart. You just look up till the moment you get a bigger rejection or a bigger range. And that's the moment when you actually start putting effort into counting. Because before that, it's a bit of a waste of time to really count a chart like that in a lot of detail. Just wait for a bigger range. You basically, it's of course the same with Bitcoin. You're looking for upside, 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 and every time you create a range, you analyze the range. And if the range has a probability of being bearish, meaning an impulse to the downside, correction, and the potential of continuation, that's a sell area, right? But now that we, on SPX, for example, we moved down, moved up, we hit the 886, probability is high to take this high, still looking for all-time highs. And the moment you do, you just got to wait for another rejection and another range. And the moment you get that rejection or you get that range, that's when you analyze that range again and then get back to probabilities. But at the moment, yeah, it doesn't make sense to analyze. On NVIDIA, we have a very nice three-wave structure to the downside. I have a support resistance area on my chart, which is respected. This is the weekly time frame. We almost touched the 886, so keep an eye on the 886. Let's see here. A three-wave structure or the potential of a diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's something to say about a diagonal, but I think wave 3 is longer than, wave 3 is longer than wave 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your 3 is longer than your wave 1, which then means expanding diagonal, but your 5 is shorter than your 3. Take a trend-based fib from the high of 3 to the low of 3 to the high of 4, and our wave 5 is just shorter. So a diagonal doesn't work, increasing the probabilities that this is a corrective structure, which in turn increases probabilities to still take out the high, right? Possibly continue ranging, that's fine, but it's lower, it just lowers the probabilities. Yes, based on the new rules, wave 3 can be longer than wave 1 in a diagonal. So it's in that case not an invalidation. But then your wave 5 is still longer than your wave 1, so it's not allowed. So a diagonal down here doesn't work, and probability is higher to look for all-time highs on NVIDIA. And it doesn't mean that has to happen directly. It's no problem to continue the range for a longer period of time. It's just that the directional bias is up, not down. Yeah, you can easily move and bigger corrective structure and WXYs and whatnot, but probability is higher. This is corrective, not impulsive. If you want to be an impulse, you need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we didn't get. A diagonal, 5 longer than 1, or a multi 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, but that is very low probability. Second wave 1 a lot longer than the first. And I guess, did you hit the 886 from this high here to the low? Yes, you did. So lowest probabilities even more. So yeah, bias on this chart remains up. And unrelated to what price does in the meantime, probability is higher to still take all-time high on NVIDIA. This is how we check all those boxes very quick. Pop, 4, 0, 0. That goes quick. Okay, next in line. NDAG. Is that the same? NASDAQ. Can't analyze. You can't analyze this. We're at all-time highs. I don't even really need to add this in the timestamps. It doesn't make sense. Nasdaq is at all-time highs. So quite simply, we are moving to the upside locally. Of course, we touched the 886, taken from the high to the low over here. I guess we already did it for the first time here, by the way. 1 second. So yeah, we did. So that already increases probabilities to take the high. These probabilities remain, and we are pushing towards the upside I don't know what the NQ. Oh, anyway, probabilities on this random Nasdaq chart, whatever this is, are also higher to take out this high. And as long as price keeps pushing, you follow the trend, wait for a new range, analyze the range. But at the moment, there is no range as price just goes up. So you need to wait for a rejection and a retracement. This is when we can analyze something. Wait for a bigger range to form. How are you pulling FIP so fast? I used to be a professional gamer. Which isn't a joke, by the way, but it's of course a joke as in like an answer. I mean, it's true. I used to be a professional gamer. Okay. What's happening here? Daily. I have to go after this chart probably. I have a meeting at 5 p.m. With a company in America. Okay, this is interesting. So yeah, we have a move to the... Do we have volume? Volume is never really awesome on these charts, but we have a move to the downside, and as nicely we can count an impulse here, 5. We then have a 3 flat and another 5. So this looks much better than, like, as there's 3-wave structure: impulse, correction, flat, impulse. We don't really have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go again. Do we have an impulse? No, right? Is this an impulse and then A, B, C? Your B is in that case very, very deep. All right, so if you do have a B, it doesn't even make sense. So probabilities here would be higher to count it 5, 3, 5, with the 3 being an expanding flat ABC. Count this as an ABC. Now the problem for technical like Elliott wave analysis is the moment you have a higher probability 3-wave structure ABC, an ABC can be part of a bigger WXY sideways structure. ABC can be part of a sharp WXY double zigzag, can be part of a flat ABC, can be part of a triangle ABCDE continuation. So it's difficult to give a probability to any of these options, as that pretty much depends on the move towards the upside and a couple of the invalidations or probability levels. So if price hits, for example, the 0.7, which it by the way did, a double zigzag already has lower probabilities, WXY double zigzag, so ABC correction ABC. So probabilities now increase therefore for either a sideways WXY, a flat ABC, triangle ABCDE, which are more sideways structures compared to deep structures. So in that case, the probabilities on Nasdaq are also higher to still take out the all-time high. Even if you create a longer corrective structure, those probabilities are higher to take out the high, because the probabilities are higher to move down is corrective in a zigzag. We did actually hit nice support, by the way. We hit the previous range, so that is nice structural support. That's something that you do like to see. Spend a lot of time here ranging, bit of a rejection, then move up. We came back and hit it again. So yeah, probability is higher to take out the high. What button do you use? Oh, like the magnet. Control. It's the control button. So of course I'm in free mode now, right? I don't have the magnet on, and then the moment I press control, you can see that the cursor is connected to the candles. The moment I release control, right? Nothing. And the moment I press control, it's connected, both to either the upside of the candles or the downside of the candles. Bitcoin, anything new here? No, Bitcoin is still Bitcoin is the same as the morning update, so there's nothing to update on Bitcoin. It's moving up with bullish CVDs so far, at least. Of course, all of these already played out. So Bitcoin is no different. But yeah, I do have a meeting now, guys. I have a meeting. I have to jump in a meeting with the US. We did quite a lot though. Sol, Link, ETH, RNDR, Render, Near, Tesla. I need to change the name in my list. Tesla, SPX, NVDA, Nasdaq. Of course, the last couple, it's very easy to analyze these. It's only worth to analyze these type of charts in a lot of detail on a yearly or a monthly if locally we actually start to see significant weakness and lower prices. But we're still at all-time high. Via holding, yeah, I know. This is what I used, for example, on Render to check like what's the percentage. I think like 3,000 or one of those coins. Maybe it was near. I think near. Yeah. So I just use Shift and then you can. Yeah. But yo, everyone. Hopefully you enjoyed. Some charts had a lot more in-depth analysis compared to others, especially at the end with the stocks. They all move up. There's nothing to analyze as long as there's no significant range or big rejection or an impulse to the downside. Higher probabilities to go up and then wait for another range, as that is the easiest to do from an Elliott wave point of view. Just wait for the ranges to form. It doesn't make sense if you are in price discovery to like pinpoint the all-time high or the reversal area. It's just wait for another range, wait for the rejection, analyze that rejection, analyze the range, and then you'll have a good feeling if you need to sell or if you can continue buying. So yeah, I will put the timestamps in after the meeting. It's going to be an hour-long meeting, and after that I can put in the timestamps. Tonight, I probably have to write an update about this, but tonight I probably can't make an update because my wife's sister from South Africa is visiting us for the weekend. She will go to Formula 1 in Monza with us as well, and another guy, so also from South Africa coming over, another friend. So tonight we will have dinner in Nice. Yeah, I probably can't provide an update. I think there's values in diving into the daily rally count up from the 2023 lows. Not in my opinion. It's just as long as price is pushing up and correct and structures locally are corrective, there is no point for me to analyze these type of charts in detail. Only when we get a bigger rejection do I start to get interested to count this. First of all, I don't trade stocks myself. Second, this move to the upside here, it's interesting. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, and then look for one more high to take the high, all-time high. But it's once we take this high and we start creating a bigger range, we can analyze the stock again. So yeah. Anyway, it's 5 p.m. I gotta go. Thanks everyone for being here. Thanks B Channel, by the way, for being a member for another month, and I will catch you during the next stream. Cheers.